Prophecy and Power. What Alys Rivers' visions reveal about the future. Welcome back, everyone, to the channel where fantasy meets strategy and nostalgia fuels our digital adventures. In the shadows of Harrenhal, where blood has soaked the stones and the skies whisper secrets of old, a mysterious woman once rose to claim power not through armies, but through visions. Her name was Alys Rivers, a wet nurse turned sorceress, prophet, and queen. Feared by many, understood by few, and still cloaked in mystery, Alys Rivers might hold the key to unraveling the dark future of Westeros. What did her visions truly mean? Were they delusions, or divine warnings of doom yet to come? This is the story of prophecy and power, of a woman who saw beyond the veil, and whose glimpses into the future may yet echo into the Song of Ice and Fire. The woman behind the mystery. Before diving into her prophecies, we must first understand who Alys Rivers truly was. Unfortunately, much of her life is lost in rumor and folklore. Even her origins are contested. Alys Rivers served as a wet nurse at Harrenhal during the Dance of the Dragons. Some say she was a bastard of House Strong. Others claim she was far older than she looked, perhaps even using magic to prolong her life. Descriptions of her, particularly by Septon Eustace, paint her as a woman of great beauty despite her age, with a mystical air that made people uncomfortable. But it was not her appearance that made her feared. It was her supposed sight. Alys claimed to receive visions and prophecies, whispers from the gods or the weirwoods, perhaps even dreams from the past and future alike. And unlike many self-proclaimed mystics, her predictions had a disturbing way of coming true. When Prince Aemon Targaryen, rider of the dread dragon Vhagar, came to Harrenhal and claimed it for the Greens, Alys was there. She became his lover, his seer, and eventually the mother of his child, though even this birth is shrouded in speculation. She remained at his side, whispering her visions in his ear, and perhaps steering him down a road that led to fire, blood, and tragedy. Her most famous prophecies. Let's turn to Alys Rivers' most important visions, those that have been recorded or rumored to exist. 1. The Doom of Harrenhal. Alys allegedly foresaw the repeated destruction of Harrenhal. She claimed the castle was cursed, not just from Aegon's dragons, but from its own blood-soaked past. In one cryptic vision, she said, "Stone weeps where blood once ran. The sons of kings will rot in these halls, and wolves will howl where dragons once ruled." Decades later, the significance of this vision becomes chilling. Harrenhal was never successfully held for long. Lords died mysteriously, heirs vanished, and the castle crumbled from within. Even in the time of the main books, Harrenhal is a ghostly ruin, home to neither dragons nor kings. 2. The death of Aemon. Perhaps her most haunting prophecy came before the battle above the God's Eye. Alys reportedly warned Aemon, "You will burn, but your shadow will fly. And in the lake, your doom waits." This was dismissed at the time, but after the legendary battle between Aemon and Daemon Targaryen, the meaning became clear. Both riders died as their dragons crashed into the God's Eye lake. Aemon's body was only later recovered, with a sapphire still gleaming in the socket where his eye once was. His shadow did indeed fly, until the very end. And his doom came from the depths, just as Alys had foretold. 3. The Child of Fire and Blood. Alys bore a child, presumably Aemon's son, after his death. She declared him to be the last dragon, born of fire and vengeance. He shall rise when the world is ash and cast down the usurpers. Many dismissed this as mad ravings. But in the chaotic aftermath of the dance, Alys fled Harrenhal with this child and proclaimed him king. Some say she envisioned him leading a new Targaryen dynasty. Others believe she saw something even darker, a burning world, reborn through shadow and flame. Is she a Grenseer, a Shadowbinder, or a child of the forest? Alys Rivers is often called a witch or a sorceress. But in the deeper mythology of Westeros, there are multiple types of magical beings, and Alys may be something more, or older. Could Alys have been a Grenseer? Grenseers, like those among the children of the forest, possess the gift of prophetic dreams and visions, often tied to weirwood trees and ancient magic. Alys often lingered near the God's Eye, a lake surrounded by mystery and even rumored to house an isle of ancient power, the Isle of Faces. Could Alys have drawn power from that place? Did her proximity to the mystical lake enhance her visions? Was she a shadowbender like the Red Priests of Ashai? Some aspects of Alys' behavior, her cryptic language, her dark attire, her strange longevity, echo the Shadowbinders of the East. Like Melisandre, who claims to see the future in flames, Alys could predict outcomes through some unseen medium. Was she trained in the same arts? Or did she tap into a darker source? And what of her longevity? Septon Eustace and other chroniclers claim she was older than she looked. This calls to mind figures like Melisandre, who used glamours and blood magic to maintain a youthful form. If Alys was indeed far older than she appeared, could she have been alive even before the Targaryens came to Westeros? The parallels with ancient magical traditions, from the green dreams of Jojen Reed to the fire visions of R'hllor worshippers, suggest that Alys Rivers was not just a prophetic figure, but a conduit for forces beyond mortal understanding. What her visions reveal about the future? Let's now ask the biggest question. What do Alys Rivers' visions actually mean for the future of Westeros? 1. The return of dragons through shadow. Her claim that her son would be the last dragon, and rise when the world is ash, mirrors the prophetic language associated with Azor Ahai, the prince that was promised. Could her son have been a prototype or foreshadowing of Jon Snow, Daenerys, or another reborn Targaryen? Was her child meant to cleanse Westeros with fire, or rule over its ruins? 2. The fall of House Targaryen. Her warning that wolves will howl where dragons once ruled, eerily hints at the downfall of the Targaryens and the rise of House Stark. In A Song of Ice and Fire, the Targaryens fall into ruin, and it is the wolves, Starks, who reclaim their honor and eventually, perhaps, the future of the realm. 3. The death of prophecy itself. Another angle is that Alys Rivers represents the unreliability of prophecy. Her predictions came true, but not always in the ways expected. Like the prophecies in Game of Thrones, which often mislead or destroy those who believe in them, Alys' visions might warn us not to place faith in fate. She foresaw doom, but could not stop it. She saw a king in her child, but no throne was ever his. Just as Daenerys followed visions into madness, Alys may have followed truth into delusion. Alys Rivers in modern interpretations. With HBO's House of the Dragon, Alys Rivers is beginning to receive the attention she deserves. The show portrays her as a mysterious force, quiet, observant, always watching. She is neither hero nor villain, but something else entirely, a vessel of forgotten magic. Modern interpretations of Alys vary. Some fans see her as the last link to the children of the forest, preserving their vision magic in a world dominated by dragons and steel. Others believe she is a villainous temptress, manipulating Aemond and sowing chaos, and still more believe she is a tragic figure, gifted with foresight but cursed to be ignored until it is too late. The fascinating part is this. Despite limited page time, Alys leaves an enormous legacy. She represents the unknown, the old powers of Westeros that still simmer beneath the surface. The Wood's Witch, the Seer, the woman who knew too much. In a world of knights and kings, Alys Rivers was a prophet, and prophets are dangerous. In the grand tapestry of Westeros, Alys Rivers may seem like a footnote. A side character in a brutal civil war. But look closer, and you'll find that she may have seen more than any king or dragon rider ever did. She foresaw doom. She foresaw the fall of houses, the rise of wolves, and the coming of fire through blood. She bore a child who might have been a messiah or a monster. She stood beside Aemond the Kinslayer, not just as a lover, but as a dark mirror to his fury. Alys Rivers reminds us that the future is never certain. That prophecy is a weapon, and like all weapons, it cuts both ways. So next time you hear whispers in the dark, think of her. The Witch of Harrenhal, the seer of the God's Eye. And wonder, what else did she see, that we've yet to discover? If you enjoyed this deep dive into prophecy, power, and one of the most mysterious figures in Westeros, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. What do you think Alys Rivers saw in her visions? Could her prophecies still echo into the future of House of the Dragon, or even beyond? Until next time, stay wary of shadows, and remember, in Westeros, truth is often the first casualty of power.